Welcome to In the Pantry. I'm Chef ThugLife, and today we're going to be making ramen noodles. Chris in Newark wants to know how can he make ramen noodles into a complete meal. Let's get started.
Short Order is teaming up with chefs to raise money for the Food Bank of Delaware, the people on the front lines fighting food insecurity in our communities. They are needed now more than ever, and they put themselves at risk every day. Please consider donating now. Thank you.
The easiest thing to do is to add some type of a protein to it. I have a can of salmon, some eggs, trumpet mushrooms, a little bit of kale left in a bag. I'm actually going to make some salmon cakes. So for that, you'll need the eggs, panko breadcrumbs, mayonnaise. I'm gonna put a little bit of Dijon, well, this is whole grain mustard, a little piece of onion that I'm gonna chop up to add in there, seasoned with a little Chinese spice. When you're making the ramen noodle, a way to make it a little bit tastier is to use some vegetable stock instead of plain water. We have some parsley in here, Asian seasonings that I always have around, chili garlic sauce. Hoisin you can literally put on any vegetable and it makes it taste amazing. I also have a really random bag of some seaweed in my pantry. Behind my lovely sign here is some scallions. I don't know what you're doing during this quarantine, but if you aren't growing your own scallions, I just don't know what to tell you. I'm going to start 2 hard-boiled eggs. I start them in cold water. I let my eggs hang out between 6 to 8 minutes. Now we're going to get started on making the salmon cake. A 1/4 cup of mayonnaise that I'm going to put into the bowl. I have some Chinese 5-spice powder. I'm just going to do a teaspoon of that. I'm going to do a 1/2 tablespoon of whole grain mustard. I like mustard. Chop up some parsley that I had. I just want to make sure that it is chopped as small as you can get it. Little kosher salt, black pepper. Once you have all of that incorporated into the mayonnaise, that is when I like to add in the salmon. Break it up. I add in the breadcrumbs. Then I crack my egg. I crack my egg in a separate bowl just in case any shell gets into the egg. Fold everything together. Make sure your egg is really incorporated. Toss it back and forth. Makes a little ball, then just flatten it. Our water is now boiling on our eggs. We're going to turn the heat off on that, and then I'm going to put a lid on it. Then I'm going to set my timer for 6 minutes. Now we're going to deal with our kale. Remove the stem so that you just have the leafy part. And that is time on our eggs. Put the eggs into the ice water immediately so that the cooking process can stop. This is a really great mushroom, as it says on here. It's firm, it's meaty. I just cut this into like 3 pieces. I have a cast iron skillet. Use any skillet that you have available, preferably a non-stick. And I'm just going to get that warmed up. So I'm going to add some curry powder to the vegetable stock, along with the seasoning packet that comes with the ramen. And the curry powder that I used is a salt-free one. Definitely want to make sure you're checking your sodium intake. And then you just drop your noodles in. Come in close, closer. It is time to flip over these beautiful salmon patties. A nice brown crust. And then we're gonna let the other side cook for another 2 minutes. And then as soon as I pull this off, I'm just going to put my mushrooms in. There's still a little bit of oil left in the pan. Put a little bit more oil across the top of this. Our noodles look like they're just about ready. The color is definitely different because of that vegetable stock and adding the curry powder to it. And it smells amazing. Our mushrooms are starting to get a nice little sear on one side. I'm going to add some hoisin. Do not need a lot of hoisin at all. And I'm gonna put my kale down in there. I don't like to let my kale cook too much. The more that you cook it, the more nutrients that come out of it. Kind of defeats the purpose of you eating the vegetable. Tiny bit of salt and pepper. You want to season everything. Everything is together and we can plate the ramen up now. I'm going to grab a nice bowl. I'm going to lay down the noodles. I like to have the noodles gathered up to one side of my bowl. Pour the liquid over it. We're gonna come in, hit it with some salmon cakes. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Here is the moment of truth. A perfect jammy egg. 6 minutes. Those are gonna get cute and cozy right there. Then we're gonna come in with some of the trumpet mushroom that we cooked in that hoisin sauce, and it has a really nice sexy glaze on it. This is a masterpiece right here. And we're still not done. On top of the egg, I have some everything seasoning. It already has salt, it has sesame seeds. You just need a little bit of that. I like to put some sesame oil on the noodle. Soy sauce. This is just going to go across the whole thing. The chili garlic is optional. I try to get this a little bit more into the broth itself. I like spicy. We forgot about this really random bag of seaweed that I found. This is some fancy stuff, y'all. I'm just going to tuck that behind the egg. Subscribe to this channel so that you can learn about more charities that we chefs would love for you to donate to. The whole reason why I've made this video and have teamed up with Short Order is to raise money for not only the Food Bank of Delaware, but the Delaware Coalition Against Domestic Violence. If you want to find out more about me, you can follow me on Facebook, Cooking with Chef ThugLife, or on Instagram, Chef ThugLife. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my nephew Nazim.
Some of our neighbors are facing much bigger food problems than just not knowing how to cook. Please consider donating to the Food Bank of Delaware today, and thank you.